Hello everyone. Today I'm going to tell you the story of what happened to me when I got stalked, and just how genuinely useless the police are. So I'm going to take you back to little Northie, teenage Northie. I was 16 years old when this started. The man who stalked me at the time was about 30 years old. Me and my friend got a Christmas job, a weekend job, and we worked with him. We decided to befriend him. He was a little bit odd, I'm not going to lie. He was very camp. He wasn't the most attractive gentleman, put it that way. He had a really large forehead, like really large. You can tell why I get triggered by people with large foreheads now. We mistakenly thought he was gay, and that was the first mistake. Like I said, he was 30 and I was a bairn. I was 16. There was a brief friendship. It lasted less than 6 months, and during that time I turned 17. Would meet him occasionally for a drink. I'd just like to remind you, I was 16. And I should have noticed some warning signs, because as soon as my friend got up to go to the loo, this guy would make disparaging comments about my friend. The last time I actually chose to see him, I was 17. Again, you're legally over the age of consent in the UK, but you're also still a minor in the eyes of the law. And I say that because this guy is 30, right? And I'm 16, 17. After we kind of went, right, this is too creepy, he's too weird, we just kind of, never just kind of let the friendship kind of peter out kind of thing. The phone call started every day, a withheld number to my mum's house, silence, and then putting down the phone. And this would go on and on a few times a day, every day. And then the post, he started writing me letters, sending me cards. His writing was bigger and childlike and messy, so I knew it was him. He then started using those stencils that the kids used to write, where you can write out capital letters, and he never added his name. But then there was another twist. Adverts appeared in the local paper from him to me. And this went on for years. By the time I moved away for university, or college, as you say in the US, my mum was still getting phone calls, but she didn't tell me until later, as she didn't want to worry me, because this was naturally, I knew it was him, but we couldn't do anything about it, really. But at the time I was in my 20s, I was still away from home, I was still away from the Northeast, and social media was just becoming a thing. Facebook started. Of course, I didn't think anything when I opened a Facebook, but within days of opening it, I had messages from him, so I blocked him. Even on Friends Reunited, do you remember that? I was on there, and he tried to contact me. There'd be occasional Christmas cards from him, birthday cards from him, even Valentine's cards from him, all sent to my parents. By the time I moved back home, he was the last thing on my mind. But he found out I was back somehow. I'd opened a new Facebook account, and within hours he was there, messaging me. I blocked him, and then the phone calls started again. I opened an Instagram, and guess what? He found me on there as well. I opened a Google Plus, can you remember that as well? And he found me on that. He found my Pinterest boards. He followed me everywhere online. He had Pinterest boards with just my face tagged again and again and again with the same image. I told him to remove the posts and I blocked him. At this time I was working for a big company. I ended up having to make a LinkedIn page. I needed to do that for the role. And he found us on that. We were doing fundraising for a sponsored walk to raise money, so there was a blog, and he found that too. One day, I was going through some stuff on the computer at work. There was a job application from him, all made at late night. We're talking 40 to 50 applications in 6 months. Now, the job applications are lengthy forms, and he'd filled them all out. After I left the company, he started sending me Amazon packages, but it went to my mum's. Lots and lots of Amazon packages. We're talking like cocktail makers, cat brushes, ladies' shavers, weird stuff that, like, intimate stuff that you wouldn't necessarily send as a gift to someone. Nothing rude, but just kind of like personal, like a shaver and things like that. It was weird. That's when I got the police involved, and that's when I told my other half, as you know, we call him Mr. Northy in these parts. I hadn't told Mr. Northy about this because I felt like a freak. I felt like it was somehow my fault. Like, his infatuation and stalking of me was somehow my doing. Like, it reflected on me. The police tried to get Amazon to stop the parcels, to be fair. But because at that time you could send a gift anonymously, which has now been changed, thankfully, for Amazon, the police couldn't do anything about it. The police, I've got to say, weren't exactly helpful. They were hardly like Vera on the telly, you know what I mean? They were pretty useless. Even though it was in real world and it was affecting me and I felt like I was being watched and the people around us, they still couldn't do it. I then went to a stalking charity for help, the Susie Lampard Trust, and they gave me some good advice, and the advisors confirmed that, from what I told them, this was stalking. One thing the police did say to me about this man is he was on their database, so I can't have been the only one. But the moral of the story is, it would have been worse if I had responded. The police were pretty useless. The stalking charity, the Susie Lampard Trust, was amazing. I also learned that keeping stuff like this to yourself isn't good. And the road to hell, just like Baby Reindeer, just like other stalking stories all around the world, the road to hell is really paved with good intentions. But that doesn't mean you should stop trying to be a good person. And that's my story. Let me know what you think in the comments. Bye, guys.